Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Social Climbing series. And in this episode, I want to talk about the signs that you have social power and a pedestal, kind of how to tell what those things are. Because a lot of times people will ask questions like, oh, what difference has it made in your life having access to XYZ privilege? Okay, well, I will tell you some of the signs that you have certain privileges. Okay, so one of the signs that you have social power is that people notice you, they recognize you, and they memorize random facts about you, and then you may not even know who they are. So it's like you walk into a new social setting, you're the new girl at work, you're the new girl at church, you're the new girl at the gym, and everybody already knows your name. People are like, oh, hey, Sarah. Like men are already saying your name. You don't even know who these men are. So it's like this automatic spotlight that you have. That is a form of social power. Having a spotlight on you and basically automatically having access to a voice, it's almost like having this social throne, if that makes sense. So, this is why some women get mad, and that's why they say you're being put on a pedestal. It's because you're simply receiving more attention than them. So, have you ever gone to a new social setting and then somebody will say your name, or maybe they remembered your birthday, or they remember the outfit you wore, and like you have no idea what they wore last time you saw them? Like you have no idea what hairstyle they did? I know I've had this happen to me where sometimes people will be like, oh, yeah, last time I saw you, you were wearing this blue jacket. And then they'll go on to describe my entire outfit. Okay, that's a sign that you are definitely on some sort of pedestal. You do have some form of social power because people are noticing you. So if people are noticing your style, they're noticing your hair, that's a sign that you're on the pedestal. Number two, people start copying you. Have you ever noticed that whenever you are considered kind of like this alpha female, a lot of other women, they will almost start to like fall in line and copy what you're doing? And I'm not trying to say it like, oh, you're the alpha and they're all beta females, but some women, they really will automatically put you as kind of the alpha female in their mind. I don't believe in hierarchy thinking, but I'm just telling you how other women think. So, for example, let's say you're the pretty girl at work, you will notice that suddenly other women at your job, they start dressing like you. They start changing up their hairstyles. They start playing around with their makeup because they see you playing around with yours. So you are the leader. You are the fashion icon of your office. You're literally a living, breathing fashion icon in your office. You are the fashion icon of your church. You're the fashion icon in your family. That is a form of social power. People are looking to you for direction. They're looking to you to get inspired, basically. You're automatically inspiring people without even trying. That is absolutely a form of social power. You are their muse. You are their standard of beauty. That's why they're trying to do their hair like you. That's why they're trying to figure out your makeup. That leads me to number three. People start speculating about you. Let's say you're wearing weave or makeup, or you just have something special about your look that makes you stand out. People will actually start asking questions about you. They'll be like, oh, is that her real hair? How did she lose that weight? How did she get that outfit? Where does she shop? Like, where does she get her outfits from? Who's that new girl in the office? You'll have men asking questions about you. Oh, who's your friend? Who's your cousin? How old is she? Is she married? Does she have kids? So people are doing all this speculation about you. One of my psychological theories is that the women who are on a pedestal, the women with social power, cause chaos wherever we go. So, like, if a new pretty girl walks into the cookout, suddenly all the men are like, oh, who's that? What's her name? Like, where is she from? Like, I've never seen her before. So, they're doing all this speculating about you. There's like a swirl of rumors about you. You're basically the talk of the town. You're the talk of the town, you're the talk of the office, you're the talk of the gym. And if you're not sure if you have any social power, all you have to do is socialize more. By the way, you cannot experience social power if you never socialize. If you are just locked up in your apartment 24/7, this will not be applicable to you. You won't be able to get any of your privileges because you're closing yourself off to them. But a lot of girls who do have social power, you will immediately get people talking. Sometimes you'll just walk into a grocery store, you'll walk into the coffee shop, and then people are randomly like, oh my God, your outfit is so cute. Oh wow, where did you get your hair done? Oh, I love your makeup. What kind of eyeshadow is that? So you get people talking, you're a topic of conversation. You're a topic of conversation. Another sign that you have social power is that you receive a lot of compliments. Is there a certain archetype or a certain ethnic group that compliments you a lot? I notice that, for example, I tend to get a lot of compliments from non black women in particular. I get compliments from non-black women. Like, let's say I'm wearing a fuzzy sweater, or like, I don't know, something like pink and fuzzy or something blue and fuzzy. I notice I will walk into the mall or something, and random women, they'll be like, "Oh my god, I love your outfit. Oh my god, you're so pretty." Like, that's a sign that you have some form of social power. You're being noticed in a positive way from the moment you walk into a room. So I want you to also think about this too, because this can help with your social strategy. What types of people do you receive compliments from the most? And then what types of people do you not receive compliments from? Because whoever doesn't compliment you, you want to avoid those people. So, like, if black men never compliment you, don't date them then. Then don't hang out with them. If black women never compliment you, then don't go into black women's spaces. Stay in the spaces where you're celebrated, right? That's what other women are doing. They say go where you're celebrated. Okay, so if you get a lot of compliments in the Arab community, in the white community, old people compliment you, young teenagers compliment you, wherever you are complimented the most, that's a sign that you have more social power in those spaces. So, no, it's not racist to prefer to hang out in one space over another. What you're doing is you are socially engineering yourself to receive social power. By the way, this is a part of human behavior. Humans are doing this whether they realize it or not, but that's a sign of social power. You are getting a lot of compliments. They may be looking at your outfit. That's another thing you may want to think about as well. That can help your social strategy. What do you get complimented on the most? Is it your style? Is it your body? Is it your face? Is it your makeup, your hair? Like, what do you usually get compliments on? Is it your personality? Are you very bubbly? Is it your talent? Maybe you can sing. Maybe you can dance really well. Maybe you're a good painter. You're a writer. So, whatever you like to receive compliments on the most, that's a sign that that's the type of social power you enjoy. And by the way, another way to tell that you have social power is that other women actually get threatened by your social power. For example, this used to happen in churches when I was growing up. Let's say there's one girl who can really sing and she always sings the solo at church, and then a new girl starts coming to the church and she can also sing really good, and then people start like complimenting her, and then the other singer gets threatened by that. That's a sign that the new girl has social power. So, one of the aspects of social power is that other people who have power in that area, they actually get threatened by your power. Because have you ever been around those people who have this mindset of there can only be one talented girl, there can only be one pretty black girl in the office? Like, I've been around a lot of people like that. There can only be one pretty woman of color in the office. There can only be one pretty tall, skinny girl in the office. And so maybe these women had social power before, but now that you are the new girl in that social setting, now her social power is being shared with you. Now people are complimenting her as well. By the way, being the new girl, that can be a form of social power in and of itself. Have you ever noticed how in high school, whenever a new girl would transfer to the school, sometimes people would be like, "Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Oh, she's so gorgeous." And it's like, well, she's just new. And I mean, I'm not saying that they're not pretty, but being new, being the new girl on the block, that can be a form of social power. Look at Tyla, for example. Look at Ice Spice when she first came out. In fact, look at a lot of new artists when they first come out. Sometimes women will use that newness and they will use them being a fresh face as a way to kind of capitalize on that social power of being the new kid on the block. So that's another form of social strategy that you can use. If you're the new girl in the office, for example, let's say your last job was trash and you didn't get to be yourself. And then maybe at this new job, maybe you want to be the girl who is well liked. Maybe you want to be the girl who eats lunch with your coworkers. Well, now you get a fresh start. So you can come into the office, you can show off your bubbly side, and basically you can engineer whatever form of social power you want for yourself. So that's another aspect of social strategy. You want to ask yourself, okay, how do I want to be known? So I know for me personally, how I want to be known is I want to be known as the pretty girl who's fashionable and feminine and like has a lot of friends, like socializes a lot. That is how I want to be known. That's what I enjoy the most in terms of my social power. So some women, they like to utilize different social strategies. So like I've met some women where they like to be known as the soccer mom, the mom who can do it all. She makes organic, fresh baby food for her children, and like she has a housekeeper and she's really good at cooking. Oh my God, the amount of women that I've seen get jealous over women's cooking is insane, because that's actually a form of social power. Whatever your brand is, what is your social brand? Like, what is your personal brand? Because I've been around women, these were also church women as well. There might be one lady in the church, and usually they're big women. I'm just saying. Hey, maybe that girl was onto something when she talked about big women cooking. I don't know, but like when I was growing up, the ladies in the church, like there would always be one lady who was really good at cooking. She would cook for all the church events. And I remember like whenever a new lady would come who was also good at cooking, the first lady would actually get mad and jealous that she cooked for the event. So it's like they're seeing it as a competition because a part of their social power and a part of their social brand is being the one who can cook, or like, that's Sarah, that's the lady who does all of our cooking for all of our events. She always does the catering. She's known as the woman who can bake. She's known as being able to throw down in the kitchen or whatever. So that's actually a sign that you have social power. It's if someone else is threatened by your social power, or if they feel like you have the same brand as them. Like this actually happened to me on YouTube. A lot of black female content creators, they are threatened by my social power because I talk about some of the same subjects. I talk about sociology, I talk about colorism, I talk about black psychology, I talk about gender dynamics. So some of the other women on YouTube who have that as a part of their personal brand of their YouTube channel, they're threatened by my social power because they feel like, oh no, that was my social strategy. She's using the same social strategy as me, so now I'm mad. But that's actually a sign that you are successful because other women who are utilizing the same social strategy as you, they might actually be threatened. Sometimes they may even try to sabotage you. This happens a lot in the dating market or like in co-ed spaces. Sometimes you will see women who will try to talk shit about you in front of men specifically because they're hoping to kind of like dim your pretty privilege. Have you ever gone into a co-ed setting and then there's always some pick-me woman who's like, oh, well, she's not even that pretty. Oh, well, she's not even that cute. Oh, she's wearing a weave. Oh, well, her eyelashes are fake. She's wearing a ton of makeup. She's wearing a girdle. She's wearing a waist trainer. She's wearing a push-up bra. She had a BBL. So she always has something negative to say. She always has a way to try to downplay your beauty. That's because a part of her social strategy is putting other women down. And obviously that's a bad social strategy, but it's like that's literally, she can't help it. She is subconsciously using a social strategy. By the way, every human being on this earth is subconsciously using some sort of social strategy. So this channel is created to help you to bring your social strategy into your conscious mind so that you're not operating out of your subconscious fears and stuff like that. It's me trying to help you to be more intentional about the social spaces you go in and how to attain whatever status you want. And I think a lot of people, when you talk about status, they think you're being shallow. It's like, no, I'm not just talking about social status as in beauty and popularity. I'm talking about socioeconomic status. I'm talking about creating a better social life for your children, if you have any. So pulling your kids out of these crazy schools where they're bullying them really bad, or homeschooling your kids if necessary. That's actually a social strategy that parents use to benefit their children. So social strategy, it goes much deeper than just fame and stuff like that. People can actually help prevent things like racism in their personal life by simply knowing how to socially navigate out of racist spaces. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. But another sign that you have social power is that a lot of people are attracted to you. So this could be people of the opposite sex who are attracted to you, or just in terms of friendships. The girls really want to be your friend. Maybe you have that social power in terms of your personality. You've got like this charming personality. I've met a lot of Exoticals. A lot of you guys are in my Discord. You guys are very sweet, very charming, very like feminine, like a girl's girl. So it makes me want to be friends with you. That's actually a form of social power. That's actually a sign that you have good seductive qualities. I consider that to be a form of seduction. If you've ever read like The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, or if you've ever studied seduction, seduction is really just you being magnetic. You have a magnetic personality. You can attract people to you. You're really good at talking to the lady at the coffee shop. You're good at flirting. That's another form of seduction. You're good at making new friends. You're good at getting people to like you. You know how people get mad and they're like, oh, everybody believes her, nobody believes me. Well, it's because that woman is probably better at seduction. She knows how to get you to believe her. She knows how to pull you in emotionally. She knows how to get you to listen to her. She gets you intrigued with her personality. She gets you to want to protect her. Damsel in distress, that whole archetype, it's a woman who needs protection. So there actually are women who are good at attracting social protection. That is why she's at work, talking about what's going wrong, or maybe she's crying. Oh my God, I used to be such a crybaby at work, but I couldn't help it though. But like sometimes there are women where if they cry, and I'm not saying to manipulate using your tears and stuff. I mean, unless you want to, but I'm just saying some women, they actually are very good at evoking an emotional response in you. You feel more emotionally connected to them. Why? It's because they're better at being vulnerable. That's actually an aspect of femininity. It's knowing how and when to be emotionally vulnerable. Women who are damsels in distress, or if they use that to their advantage, maybe in the workplace or something, not only are they good at being vulnerable, but they're also good at creating human connection. So, for example, if you have a really good relationship with the manager at work, you're very emotionally connected to that manager. When you send an email about Karen who's trying to speak against you, you're more likely to be believed because that manager already favors you. So the women who are known for being believed whenever they experience something bad, those women who like have a voice and stuff, the reason that they have that type of social power is because they were able to create a human connection with the people that could help them. So a lot of innocent women, if you have that innocence within your personality, I know that I have that in my personality too in real life. You can't tell on YouTube though, because this is where I bring in my assertive side, because you kind of have to because it's the internet. But outside of the internet, I'm very good at bringing out my innocence, if that makes sense. So like I naturally attract people to socially protect me. I naturally attract friends where if you talk shit about me to my friends, they're actually going to defend me. They're probably going to say that they like me as a person. And that's because I know how to build strong emotional connections with people who know how to be protectors. You know how some people are like, "Oh, well, so and so, oh, she just has a sidekick, or this friend of hers is always fighting for her." Well, that's a sign that that woman actually has the social power of attracting protectors. So some women, they have a very protective mama bear personality, and then some women have kind of this soft, demure, they have almost like this innocence about them to the point where you want to protect them. So if you want to know if you have kind of the social power of innocence, you can tell by how people compliment you. So for example, people will say, "She's so sweet. She's so kind. Oh, she's such a sweetheart." Like they will use words like sweet, they'll use words like kind, or they'll say, "Oh, she's so cute. She has such a cute personality." Okay, when they say stuff like that, what they're saying is there is a delicacy about your emotional state. There's a delicacy about your personality. Like when people use the word kind, like, "Oh, she's so kind." When I think of someone who's kind, I think of someone who is emotionally sensitive, someone who is empathetic. So if you radiate those qualities in your personality, that's a huge form of social power. So if you ever are the damsel in distress, like if you're the kind, sweet girl in the office, and then if you speak up and say, "Hey, so and so is bullying me," people are more likely to take your side unless they are prejudiced or something. But generally speaking, they're more likely to take your side because you literally radiate that social power of sweetness. Sweetness is actually a form of social power. Kindness, that's a form of social power. Think about the people throughout history who have created an entire brand on their kindness, even if they're not kind. Like they know how to turn it on in the right places because they're known for being nice. Like Mother Teresa, I heard that Mother Teresa actually was mean or like she wasn't nice. Okay, well, she at least knew how to create a brand for herself at the time that she's this kind hearted person. I'm thinking of Gandhi. I'm thinking of like Martin Luther King. Those types of people, even like Barack Obama has this brand of kind of being like this diplomatic, down to earth type of guy. That's another compliment. That's another form of social power. "Oh, you're so down to earth." There is a social power that comes with that because what they're really saying is, "I feel comfortable with you. You make me feel emotionally safe," is what they're saying. Whenever they say you're down to earth, "Oh, she's really cool. She's really chill," what they mean is she makes me feel emotionally safe. That's actually a form of social power because the opposite of that would be she's aggressive, she's harsh, she's mean, she's rude, she's a bitch. So what they're saying when they call you aggressive is you make me feel emotionally unsafe. And so it's very important for you to think about what type of social strategy you want to use. Like, do you want to be known as the sweet, kind girl? Do you want to be known as the innocent girl? What parts of your social power do you naturally lean into? Like, I've noticed, okay, so one thing that a guy brought up one time, he was like, "Oh, why do you always go out? You know, you're always wearing like these bright colors. You're always wearing like these frilly clothes and stuff like that." And he was like, "You just stand out." And he basically went on this rant about how my clothes and my countenance and basically my temperament and my personality, it makes me stand out in the hood. And then he started talking about how he had a natural tendency to want to like kind of protect me because he felt like I had a softness about my personality. And I was not dating this guy or anything. This is just a guy who was literally just being honest. So sometimes other people can actually reveal to you what aspects of social power you have, because I look back on it and I actually do have a tendency to attract protectors. I have a tendency to attract men and women who will defend me, just in general, even on YouTube and stuff. Like sometimes you'll see people defending the exotical space, and that's because I defend others, though. It's because I know how to create an emotional connection, even across the screen, even across the phone. I know how to emotionally connect with people to the point where they feel a sense of loyalty to me because they feel like I've shown that to them. That's a form of social power. If you attract loyalty, oh my God, that's a huge form of. Look at Beyonce. Beyonce is fantastic at this. She attracts some of the most loyal followers. In fact, a lot of celebrities are very good at this, and that's how they become celebrities. That's how they become super famous. That's how they get themselves on a higher pedestal. It's by creating good content, like their music or whatever, and then it attracts people to be loyal to them because different people have different things that they're loyal to. Some people are loyal to talent. So that's why they like Beyonce, because they like that she has talent. Some people are loyal to you based on your personality. Like, oh, Sabrina Carpenter, she has a cute personality. So even if she's not the most talented singer in the world, she has a cute personality. So they're loyal to that. Some people are loyal to you based on race. They are race loyalists. They're loyal to unambiguous dark skinned black women. So those are the women that have social power with them. And so you just have to figure out, okay, what causes people to be loyal to me? Is it my personality? Is it me being sweet to them? Is it me being kind to them? Because I notice, like, for me personally, I'm actually a very giving, very generous person, like in real life. Actually, even on YouTube, I create so much content on here. I don't have to create this much shit. Especially at my size, I can just create a video once a week like the other content creators. I don't have to create all this content for you guys. But I noticed that having that quality of being generous, I tend to attract people who are generous towards me. They're emotionally generous towards me. So maybe if I mess up on something, or if I have a bad day, or I'm cranky, or I say something off the wall, they're more likely to forgive me because I have shown them a lot of generosity. So generosity is actually a form of social power. Sometimes women with scarcity mindsets, they have a hard time being generous. By the way, complimenting another person, that's a form of being generous. So have you ever noticed that some women, they will complain like, well, nobody compliments me, nobody compliments my hair, nobody compliments my outfit. Well, do you compliment others? Are you friendly towards others ever? Or are you just like mean to everyone? And there's a reason why sometimes people call others aggressive. There's a reason why they're saying that. They're not just making that up. Like if people in your real life continuously say you're aggressive, you're mean, you're rude, if they are not a gaslighter, like if they're someone that has no bias against you and they just say that, or if they just notice that about you, and if they can give examples of you being aggressive or mean, you may want to take a look at that. Because, for example, like I've been mean before, I've been aggressive before. And when I look back, sometimes the reason people wouldn't like me when I was a teenager is because, yeah, maybe I would say something mean to them. Maybe I would pick on them. Like I used to do this with boys a lot when I was immature. I would pick on them. I'd be mean. You know how, like, if you like someone, you pick on them. So back when I was immature, when I was like in middle school, I would pick on those types of guys. And it's like, yeah, obviously that's going to make you come off as being more mean because you're literally saying mean things to people all the time. So no, it's not always that people are racist. It's not always that people are colorist, texturist, and featurist. Sometimes you actually are being mean to them. Sometimes you are withholding compliments or something. So there is a payoff that you can get for whatever type of social power you want. So I want you to do a journal prompt right now. So take out your pretty girl journal or just write it down in your phone. What are the top 5 forms of social power that you would like to have? Do you want beauty? That's a form of social power. Do you want friendships? That's definitely a form of social power. If you've got a gang of women that like ride for you and support you and love you, like even if I think about this exotical space, this became a whole niche because there were women who felt safe enough in this space to like make their own content and make their own channels. And then, after they made their channels, there were other women who subscribed to them who felt safe enough to make their own channels. And then they will shout out the other exotical content creators. So that's a form of social power. Friendship or like having an emotional support system. Did you know that you can actually utilize your personality to create an emotional support system for yourself? So a lot of women who have no support system at all, they are doing something wrong. Okay? So that does include the exoticals, that includes myself. So one mistake that I made socially was when I didn't have an emotional support system, it's because I was hanging out in the wrong spaces. I was hanging out around women who didn't like me. I was hanging out around women who didn't want to compliment me. So this is why I say that if there's a certain archetype or a certain ethnic group or a certain socioeconomic status, if there's a certain person who never likes you, what is the archetype of your hater? Because that's probably why you don't have a support system. It's because you're actually surrounded by haters. You're not surrounded by normal people. You're surrounded by narcissists. You're surrounded by mentally ill people. You're surrounded by women with inferiority complexes. So they don't have that abundance mindset that you're looking for. So they don't have the same generosity. You're surrounded by people who have a scarcity mindset. That was one of the social mistakes I made in the past. So in order to build my own emotional and social support system, aka popularity, is a slang term that they use for. Popularity just means she has people who support her emotionally. She has people who support her socially. She has people who want to hang out with her. She's booked and busy. She has status. People respect her. Okay, all of that, that's all social power. That is all that has to do with emotions and knowing how to evoke certain emotions in other people. Anyway, what are some of the signs that you have a social pedestal? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.